So just like to start off and say how thankful I am for you guys to be here and to be able to have this opportunity to talk to you today. I've provided a really good presentation that I hope you'll take to heart. I've been in contact with the owners and with the managers of Sodavine, and I kind of wanted to ask them, what do you want in your business that that you think you need improving on, that you want someone to come present to the people of this business to help with whatever they need. And something that Robin told me was business loyalty. She's kind of noticed over the years of owning this business that she feels like she doesn't have as high retention as she would like. She's noticed that most of her employees are students, and these students are coming and going a lot. She's having to hire and rehire a lot. People are leaving so soon before she's ready to see them go. And so that's something that she wanted me to talk about, and she wanted me to kind of research on how to fix. Like, how do you have business loyalty? So I just kind of wanted to start off and ask you, what are some characteristics of college students that are in Rexburg? Obviously, like I said before, the college students are mostly what are making up this business. College students are running it. And so what characteristics do you think that college students have here? Personally, I'm a college student myself, but when I think of us as a whole, I think of, we're really stretched thin. We're trying to balance work, school, family, social lives. We're doing so many things that are important in our lives, and I feel like we have a hard time prioritizing a lot of those things because we're so we're so stretched thin. We have so many things to think about, and so many opportunities coming for us right now. So why do you think that students being stretched thin, what does that have to do with retention rates in a business? What does that have to do with business loyalty? Well, for one, at BYU Idaho here, we have a 3-track system. So a lot of times students are coming and going in town. They're going back home to their families during their off track, and I feel like that really has something like a big part to do with it. And maybe another thing that I've kind of brainstormed is these students, they just have so much on their minds. Me myself too, I have a hard time. Sometimes I just get so overwhelmed, and I try to put school before work, but sometimes that is so hard to do. And so the first thing that we check off of our list to quit to help us kind of rejuvenate and kind of get control of our lives again is our jobs. So I think a lot of that is happening. I think that is why so many students here are kind of coming and going. And I have done my research, and I have noticed it is not just this business. I think it's Rexburg as a whole. A lot of these businesses that are employing young students, they're businesses that are made up of students. This is happening to them too. So it seems out of our control, but after doing my research, it really is something that is fixable. Something that can be controlled. So I just kind of wanted to start off by, I'm sure you know these things, but it's really important to be reminded of them, why business loyalty is so important. And I just want to acknowledge that we have both in our audience employees and a manager here, so I'm going to be talking to you both individually because business loyalty goes both ways between employers and employees. And so for an employer or an employee, business loyalty means wage increases. Who doesn't love that? The longer you stay with the business, the longer your employers get to know you, you can get good recommendations for them. The whole reason of us being here and us working these minimum wage jobs and being in school and students is we want good recommendations. We want to get somewhere else. And staying with a business all throughout your college career, that's going to give you those good recommendations. That's going to give you the hands-on experience that other employers want to see, in your future careers. That's what they want to see. For employers, for managers or owners, business loyalty often is correlated with increase in business profit. That's something every business owner or manager wants in their business. You have happy employees, they're satisfied with their jobs, they're happy where they are, and in turn, when you have both of those things, you're going to have a low turnover rate, which is really what our goal is. So how do we do that? Well, again, I want to direct my attention towards their employees really quick. Why are you doing this? Have you ever thought of that? Why are you doing this? Why are you going through this work? Well, for one, I want to introduce you to the word work ethic. I don't know if you've heard this analogy before, but if you've ever heard of how a butterfly gets out of its cocoon, they've done research on butterflies. Basically, a butterfly or a caterpillar that goes into its cocoon and is ready to come out of its cocoon, it is a hard, daunting process. It is very hard for them. They have to persevere through it. They build so much strength trying to get out of that hard shell. And it's all for a good reason, but these scientists, they thought, well, what would happen if we help them? And so these scientists, as they were ready to get out of their cocoons, excuse me, took a knife and cut the shell of it and let the butterfly out. And those butterflies that came out, they were beautiful. They had beautiful wings, still just as beautiful as the other butterflies, but they weren't strong enough to carry their own weight. They weren't strong enough to fly, and they eventually just died off, while the other butterflies who went through all that work, who persevered and did it on their own, they were strong enough and they lived beautiful lives and they were able to fly. And so that's just to relate that to business loyalty. Yes, sometimes this is going to be hard. Sometimes this is going to, this job, that you're going to have hard times in life. You're going to have these hard times in your job. You may not agree with someone always. You may not be happy with your wages, in a perfect world, I wish, but, there's always something, going on. And so that's just a little reminder, a little metaphor for you to remember to persevere through it, because doing that is creating a good work ethic for you. It's creating, it's shaping you into the future employee or business owner that you want to be in the future. Also, I want to introduce something called the corporate ladder to you. In Rexburg here, you may not think of the corporate ladder as something that, something that we think of here in Rexburg. We think, nothing goes that high up. But if you think about it, we all have to start somewhere. And if So Divine to you is starting at the bottom, you're working your way up. Starting somewhere is something. And starting there, you're learning things here that you're going to be using for the rest of your life. And so that is something that's really important in remembering when you're having these hard times in your job and you're feeling like you want to quit or something isn't making you happy in this job. It is so important to remember, that you are starting somewhere and that you're going to, take each step up that ladder one day, and everything you're doing right now is going towards something. And this is just a little quote that I like to remember, that entrepreneurship is living a few years of your life like most people won't, so that you can spend the rest of your life like most people can't. And, that is just so important to remember. Your hard work is going to pay off. What you're doing right now is going to help you, and that's just something that's really important to remember. And now I want to direct my attention towards the managers. Here's something that is so important in any business. I've done my research on this, and research shows that the most important thing that you can do in a business is sacrificing something to gain something. I think often business owners and managers of a company, they want everything. And of course, like in a perfect world, we would all want everything, but sometimes, that's just not going to happen. You have to sacrifice some things to get something else in return. And I just wanted to show you this little analogy. It's called Give 'em the Pickle. And it's this man that kind of demonstrates with his story what that little sacrifice means. So I'll just show you that really quick. His name is Bob Farrell.
Dear Mr. Farrell, I've been coming to your restaurant ever since you opened. I really love the place. Love your ice cream. I love the fun. I love your hamburgers. They're the best. I love your pickles. They are the best pickle in Seattle. I always ask for an extra pickle. They always give me one. Today, Mr. Farrell, I came in, had my usual, asked for an extra pickle from the young waitress. Well, I don't know where she got the idea, but she said, well, I'll have to sell you a side of pickles for 75 cents. That's the way you got to run your restaurant, Mr. Farrell. I'm not coming back. Well, I got that letter from an entrepreneur who was just starting on his second store. That hurt. I wrote him a letter. I said, please, we still give pickles away. Don't you worry about it. Da-da-da. Please come back. Gave him a coupon. But what happened is, I thank him to this day. The war cry of our company became, give them the pickle. Take care of the customer. No matter what happens in our business and we hear something going on, somebody says, well, should we do it? Give them the pickle. I talk to companies all over the world.